Welcome to Traci Bautistacolor. I am thrilled that you are here. Today I'm going to dive into doing a fun pigment bars box reveal. I'm going to show you some of the colors from the Spring Florals collection that just shipped and talk a little bit about my Pigment Bars subscription, because today the doors are open for a very limited time. This subscription has been sold out for the last year and a half. So, and all the boxes keep selling out. So we have a short window to invite you in. But before I tell you more about that, I just wanted to share with you a little peek into my most recent collection. So if you are here joining me live, please say hi and let us know where you are joining us from. I'm going to check the chat. Let me just see. Hey, Shar. Nice to see you. She said this will be great. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like everything is working. Let me just pause this so I don't hear myself on echo. I am super excited to share with you this latest collection. I have designed hundreds of colors over the last few years. If you are new to my channel here on YouTube or to me, my name is Traci Bautista. I am a mixed media artist and a designer, an author, and an educator. I've been teaching in person for over 20 years and online for over, I think, 13 or 14 years, maybe. Let's see, 2008, I think, is when I first started teaching online. And I've been teaching live online since 2010, 2009 or 10, back in the day. So some of you have been here for my journey for a very long time. And Traci Bautistacolor was born, I think it's this year we're celebrating, let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 7 years, 2017, I think 7 years of handcrafted artisanal color. When I first started, I started with doing and creating water media inks and watercolors, and I still create those today. But over the last few years, I have been really diving into the pigment bars, and I'm going to share with you what those are. So if you're new here and you have not seen them, these are what the pigment bars look like. This is from some of the spring collection, but they are a wax paint in a bar format. So you can actually use them like this, just like this. You can scribble and draw and make marks with it. They're awesome for stencils on fabric, but you can also heat them and melt them to create some really cool, more like wax painting effects. And then you can also use them as a resist with any water media and acrylic paints. And you can also mix them with oils to create glazes. So it is truly a really fun mixed media product that I developed and designed. And I hand manufacture them, and they are made in very limited small batches. And they have just been so fun to create. And many of you have been long-time purchasers or subscribers, so I thank you if you're here watching, or if you're watching in the replay. I would love to know, if you are a subscriber, what your maybe favorite collection is, or if you purchased a set of pigment bars before. Let me know what your faves are. I'm gonna switch to my table. You can see my little kind of messy studio desk there. And I'm going to dive in so that I can share with you some of these favorites of mine. And just I'm going to show the colors and do a little swatching and just do a little show and tell, so you can really get to see what you can do with these bars. They are highly pigmented. They are made with a couple of different organic plant waxes and they have different types of pigments. So some natural organic earth pigments, and then also some organic man-made pigments. So let's dive in and let me show you what's on my desk, even though it's a little messy. I did a live stream, or I taught a live class the other day, and we were in my play collective, which is my monthly membership. We did some fun, actually, wax resist with acrylic paint. So we did, it was actually a color studies class, and so we did some color studies with acrylics and mixed media, and then I showed how you could layer all of those using my pigment bars as a resist, and some of my inks are in there, and then we got some golden acrylic and some, what else did I put on here, paper artsy paints, and then the blue is some of my pigment bars, also the yellow's pigment bars. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do with these fun art supplies and how you can use them. And if you go back onto my channel, there's a bunch of videos that I have shared that share just like the different ways you can use the pigment bars. I'm going to try and straighten my camera there. There we go. And what you can do with them, because like I said before, they are super versatile, and there is a lot that you can do with them, using them as kind of the first layer, or using them over the top like I did here. So let me show you what a box looks like. Let me see what's in here. I don't think this is actual, these are not the spring bars, but I just want to show you the box that they normally come in are, they look like this. They're square, and then you get a set of them each quarter. And I pulled these out because these are some of the spring colors. Let's put them on here, my table. This is my palette here. I've got a little marble slab that I use sometimes as a palette when I'm painting. So let me just move all this stuff over. You can see I've got some paint on there. And then those are some of the colors, and then I also pulled more out. Where did I put them? Oh, here they are. Like, I know they're somewhere around here. So each of the bars are duotone or double-sided. Some of them have 3 to 4 colors. Sometimes there's more, like even up to, could have 6 colors, because some of them have little confetti bits of wax inside of them. So when you get to the center, the color may change just a little bit. So this was the Spring Florals collection, and you can see there all those little bits of color. So when you get to this portion of the bar, you're always going to have some kind of minor shift in the color. So they're really fun to design, and they're all unique and different. There's no 2 bars that are exactly alike, because they're hand crafted and hand poured in different colors, different layers. So like this one here has 1, 2, 3 different layers of color, and then on top you can kind of see some of the mica and some of the sparkle that are on top of some of them. Some of them have just a little bit of color, and then others have a lot more texture and a little bit more color mixed in. So it's always a fun surprise when you receive and open up your package. I'm trying to see if I have, I thought I grabbed a box that was actually a regular box. I should have checked before I opened it. But the nice thing about the way that these come is that normally you get 4 in a box, but and there is a little little puff thing in here, and this actually works great too as a way to clean up your sketchbook pages. But then these boxes work great also as storage as you work. So this is a bunch of collections mixed together, but you normally get a set inside here of 4 each quarter, and then each quarter there's some fun goodie. So if you join for the time that we're open this week, you'll get a bonus freebie of a bottle of ink, and I'm going to show you some of the new collection coming up towards the end. So I just thought that I would just give you that little sneaky peek in here. Here's what the pigment bars look like when they're melted and painted with, and you can see how you get some really beautiful layers with them. And I just wrapped up a class called Ink and Wax where I taught how to use them heated, and you can actually find a few videos on my YouTube channel that talk about how to use them when they are heated, because they open up such like a whole new world of effects when you either melt them on a pancake griddle, like a portable griddle, or if you melt them and mix them and apply them with different types of different types of tools and substrates. I'm gonna just thumb through a couple of my sketchbooks so that you can get an idea of some of the things that you can do with the pigment bars. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah. Let's see, Shar says they're all so beautiful as always. Thank you, Shar. So just a little sample of different papers. So I love to swatch them on different types of paper just to see like what they'll look like as I'm designing them. So this is on watercolor paper. This is on a wax resist on printmaking paper. And then I think this is just like regular, this is like just like a sketch paper. Those are the pigment bars, blues and greens, and a little bit of sgraffito in there. This is a Canson XL paper here, and then this is a mixed media paper, and that's actually one of my inks. I don't know, there's not pigment bars on that one, but this is some of my packaging material. I love craft paper, and so I'll always test out my work on craft paper. My most recent YouTube video shows a swatching of the spring collection with the on top of craft paper. Just more experiments with the pigment bars, so you can see how vibrant and how heavily pigmented they are. And this also has a little bit of colored pencil in here, and a little bit of, I think that's mostly all colored pencil. I think it's mostly Prismacolor that's in scribbled in there. There also might be a little bit of, what is that one? I think this might be another water soluble pencil. I didn't really write very good notes. More experiments with, this was the Boho Vibes collection. So some of these were applied heated, and like here, the bottom here is like heated. So these are like little studies that I like to do, playing with the color palettes and also playing with different mark making tools. So I'll make these quick little studies just to see how all the colors work together. Again, this was like my late, let's see, where are we now? I think this was late fall last year was the Boho Vibes collection. And just more pigment bars over, this is my handcrafted watercolor underneath there, and just a little bit of scribbling. And then a little bit of work with acrylic and watercolor. So there is some pigment bar in here. There's a little bit of white, titanium white, golden paint. And then these big marks are the pigment bars. Same with that. That's pigment bar over there. And then there's some colored pencil works. So they really work great with any of your favorite mixed media supplies. I love doing image transfers. And so this is an image transfer with my ink, the handcrafted ink, and a little bit of pigment bar on here. And this was on, did I put the type of paper it was on? It feels like mixed media paper. So those are just some experiments. I may work in this one. This was something I started in, I think, one of my classes, and I just was kind of playing with. This is also pigment bar here. This is fun. So taking one of my stencils that I designed for Stencil Girl and doing a little frottage rubbing of it with the pigment bar. You get these really great patterns when you put stencils underneath it with thin paper. This is like a calligraphy rice paper that I use to create that. And then let's see what other pigment bar surprises we have in here. This is just some of my more recent sketchbook work. And oh look, there's a pipette. More pigment bar resist with watercolor. You can see these are some of my handcrafted watercolors and inks. A lot of them have a little bit of shimmer. You see that shimmer in the light? That's one of my handcrafted inks. Again, more pigment bar work. So this is all those bigger, thicker lines are pigment bars. So underneath the acrylic, layering on top of the acrylic. This is actually acrylic pen. I think it might be a Liquitex pen that I used underneath there, the markers. And just playing with some stencils. So I love, inside my sketchbook, I love to just kind of experiment. So this is, again, pigment bars, but using some of my Soulful Scribble stencils. Those are also ones that I designed for Stencil Girl. And lots more mark making. So I love using them for just this wild kind of mark making. You can get really great deposits of color using this. This is all pigment bar here, and a little bit of colored pencil up there, little ink tints. You can see it's kind of bleeding there. It's a little bit of ink tint, some graphite pencil. So I'm going to play a little bit, and maybe I'll do a little in here maybe. And like this is acrylic paint on this side. What I like to do when I work is wear a glove usually on my right hand. So they're not going to stain your hands, but because my hands are warm, they're wax, so they will melt. And depending on your climate, I just also don't want to get pigment. I wear gloves all the time, no matter what kind of art supply I'm working with. So I usually just wear it on my right hand because I'm right-handed. So it's just easier. Unless I'm working like on a lot of stuff at once, then I may use gloves on both hands. Okay, so I'm going to go back and forth here, I think, and then maybe work on that other lighter colored paper. So let's move this out of the way. Did I have anything in here that I wanted to show? Yeah, more pigment bar stuff up here too. Playing with inks as resist. So in my play collective, we've been making these technique cards, and I think it's a great way to kind of study your art supplies. So they're not anything like finished work. They could be really great jump starts for work that you want to create larger, but a lot of the time what I'm doing is just kind of like playing with an idea or a technique. Oh, I gotta tape this down. And then more swatches. So here's the same bars on two different papers, but then this is also the same colors, but heated. So you can see when you work with them hot, you get this really opaque, flat lay matte color, which I love. And I designed them to be matte looking. That's what I love. That's one of the things I love about this supply. It gives you kind of that really beautiful matte paint look when you work with it. Okay, let's move this. This is, if you've not seen this before, I leave a lot of the covers on my journal so I remember what they are. This is the Grids and Guides book by, I don't know who makes it, but it's really awesome. It's got like a bunch of, if you like grids, like graph paper, you'll love this journal or sketchbook. And then this one is this is a Stillman and Burn mixed media, or yeah, mixed media. It's the Nova series. I love the toned paper, especially with my pigment bars. They work really awesome with that. And then I'll do a little bit on the mixed media sketchbook. This is the 400 series, the one that has my art on the cover here. But I love the size. It's a 3x9 landscape, but I just use it to test out colors. A lot of times I'm playing with my color palette. So most of the experiments in here are my inks and pigment bars, and playing with the different color palettes. And this is all pigment bar here. A little bit heated, a little bit just regular, not just like sketching. Most of this I think was maybe heated. I think this is dry. The pigment bar is dry. So again, you can really see the difference. Like some of these colors are so intense when you work with them when they're heated. They're so much fun. And when you join the subscription, you do get access to a monthly paint and swatch workshop that I host. Not monthly, a quarterly. So I'm going to put these side by side so you can kind of see what they look like on both. And maybe I will actually like just make some artwork. Some very intuitive artwork. Again, so this one, if you look at it closely, I don't know if you can see it very well because it is a darker background, but this side actually has two colors. There's this really bright orange, peachy orange, and then there's this like really beautiful pink color. And then when you mix them, you get kind of this interesting blend of color. And you can also see that inside this like green gold color, there is a couple of other pigment, like if you were to cut these open, that's where I was talking about those little confettis, because there's a little bit of like a darker green that's coming out on there that you can actually see as you scribble with it. So the nice thing about like when you wear gloves is that then I can, you know, kind of just move it around too with my finger if I want to kind of blend it even more. So you can leave it as is, use your fingers. You can also use a stiff bristle brush. So I love some of the hog hair bristles. This is a silver brush. This is like an oil painting brush, but you can also do some really nice like feathering out with brushes. And if you use drying oils like linseed oil, or even like, what is that stuff called? The spike lavender oil, you can get some really beautiful glazes too. So normally I would clean this a little bit onto with a another piece of paper, but paper towel. So like this one, there is, you can see that little yellow dot in the middle there. So this has 4 colors. There's a little thin layer, if you look at that, it's like yellow right there. There's this really beautiful green gold, bright green. There's that peachy orange, and then there's this tiny layer of pink on the top of it. And that was this was one of the bars in the Spring Florals box. And like that, this one has some of the same color, but then it's got this beautiful lavender in the center of it and a lighter color. So a lot of times what that is, so you can see this is a little bit of a darker orange color. What this side is, it's got this like kind of transparent, you can tell it's lighter. And if you color by itself, it has a little bit of color. It's kind of this really light peach. I think my light might be blowing out a little bit, but what happens is that is more of a blender bar, and I talk about this in my last video that I released on YouTube. It can be used to blend, and so I can take this and also kind of just blend it with that side if I wanted to make it a little bit lighter, so you can see there how I can blend it. I can also take another color. Let's do something that I didn't use yet. Let's try maybe this brown. It's like a really light taupe color, and maybe I want to take a little bit of that orange there, and I can use this little blender side to blend it also, and then it gives me kind of this beautiful mix in between both of the colors. So I've got that color, there's a little tiny mix, you can kind of see it in there, and then I've got the third color there. So that's what some of them have, like very light colors, because you can use them as is, because this is actually a really light peach color, so I could leave it like that, or I could actually use it as a blender. I'm just cleaning that up a little bit. Let's see what I have over here. That would be fun. So let me just show you really quickly. I have a piece of rice paper here. If I wanted to make a little texture with this, let's grab one of the blues for this so you can see it. I could just color over the top of this like so and get a little of that texture, which is kind of fun. And oops, show you it this way. Thin paper works best if you're going to do any type of rubbing like that, if you want to get that kind of texture. So you could, you know, use any type of tool. I've got a piece of what do you call this stuff? Sequin waste, punchinella. You could put that underneath. I've got some lace here that would work too. Oops. So you can kind of see some of those lace patterns underneath there. And that makes a great substrate for collage, because what happens with this, if you were to collage it on, this paper would disappear a bit, but you could also take ink or watercolor and the wax becomes a resist over the top of it. So let's see. So this was part of the spring color set. This beautiful blue. There's a little bit of a green on this side. Oh, hold on, I've got an alarm going off. Okay. And I'll do a little bit over here. I'm going to do probably one or two, well, probably a couple more live streams. I may do one on, I have to look at my schedule, just to show you a little bit more behind the scenes of the pigment bars, and show you just some other fun techniques and things that you can do with the colors. So there's a little really light blue. So if you're around on Memorial Day weekends, I may do a couple, and I will, if you're on my email list, you'll find out. If you are on YouTube, you can also hit the notify button, and that will notify you when I go live. But the best way to find out is on my email list. I know I scheduled one. I just have to look at my calendar. I can't remember when. I have a few things that I'm doing this weekend. So that's just a little hint. Those were some of the colors I designed. I think like over maybe 12 or 15 colors for this collection. And you can see some of them here. So very bright, very vibrant for spring. This was all spring florals. And right now I'm doing a lot of like just really kind of random intuitive mark making, but like I showed you before, you can really do some great techniques using the pigment bars and a bunch of mixed media. And I'm gonna talk more about this in one of my upcoming live streams, and I'll show a fun demo doing this so you can kind of see how they work with a lot of different mixed media. So I just wanted to give you that little peek. Before I go, I want to give you another little sneak peek into the colors and the theme for the upcoming collection. And I'm going to show you some of the inks that I designed. Let me just get you back on mic. Let me get my iPad. And also, I'll show you. Okay, so if you are an ink subscriber and want to be surprised, do not look at the camera right now. Here are, I just put everything on my iPad because I had to bring this on here because we're finishing up packaging the orders for the next bottles of inks. The rest of the orders are going to go out tomorrow if yours hasn't shipped yet. But this is the next set of colors for the inks. This is for my new collection called Wildflower. And I'm so excited. There's this beautiful like ginger peach color. So if you're a subscriber and you don't want to look, you don't want it to be spoiled, close your eyes. And it's actually not looking super vibrant. It's looking more washed out because of the lighting that's going on right now. I will I'll take a picture of them and send it. But the colors are this beautiful, like light pinkish purple color, which right now looks kind of just white. Let me see if I change the light on make this a little darker. So there's also this purple pink color. So these are all duotone inks. So depending on how you paint with them and the paper that you use, this one will actually show both purple and pink. And this one has a little bit of this sparkle that you can see down. There's a little bit of mica. Can you see that down there? This one, I think these two are my favorites from this collection. They're all duotone ink, so except for, well, actually this one is too. So this one, it has a little hint of yellow in it and a little peachy orange. It's really, really pretty. And then this one has this yellow, kind of like a, what's the right word? It's not, well, it does have a little yellow undertone, but it's got this beautiful blue and green inside it. And that one also has this multicolor mica in it, and it just disappeared because I moved it. But it sparkles with like this little hint of purple and orange, and you're not going to be able to see it in the camera, but it's super pretty. So the Wildflower collection ships at the end of June, and these are some of the colors that the pigment bars will be in also. And you'll start to see little snippets and hints of it if you're on my email list. If you are an ink subscriber, these are, the rest of the orders are shipping out tomorrow, so you'll get to see. The ink subscription actually has 4 inks. This is the bonus ink if you join. It's this beautiful purple with a kind of like a, what is this green called? It's like a khaki green. And this camera is not helping, but you can kind of see it's a very neutralized purple, but it shows a bit of green when it dries. And this, does this have mica? I don't think I put mica in this one. But the new Wildflower ink collection, that's the inks. So that is a little peek at the color palette. I want to show you one last thing before we go. Thanks, Sharsh says, gorgeous inks. How did you know I've been drawn to these colors lately. I know, I think a lot of it is is when I create colors, a lot of it is based on the seasons. So that is something that kind of happens in my own work. Let me just find this wildflower photograph. Okay, so what I do, and many of you know this, when I design a collection, I usually start with an idea or theme, and then I go out and take pictures. So these are photographs I've taken on hikes around the area that I live. So in California, the state flower is poppies, and that's a big influence in this. They're like these. I always pull a lot of different colors for the color palette. Not all of them make it into the final color palette, but this is kind of my jump start. So you got to see a little of it in the ink collection. But then I take that same thing and then I start to design the watercolors and the pigment bars based around this theme. So you'll get to see some of these colors in there also. So that's just a little sneaky peek into what is going to be coming up in the next collection. So let me come back to the camera. Okay, yeah, my goal was to try and do this in a half an hour. I almost did it in a half an hour. I will be back throughout the next week to share some more fun things via the live stream. So you can always come back and watch these in the replay here on YouTube Live. And if you're on my email list, you will also get reminders of when I go live. And if you are subscribed here on YouTube, if you have the notifications on, you'll also get an email or a notification when I go live. The when you go to the live landing page, there is a little bell that says notify me, so it can tell you when the live is starting. So again, I'm so super excited. The Pigment Bars box is open for a very limited time. It's been closed for a few months because we were full, and I opened up some more slots and or more spots, I should say. And so what it is, it's a quarterly paint subscription. You get a set of the pigment bars, plus when you're a subscriber, you get some other fun mixed media bonus goodie. I've included watercolors in there one time. I've included a lot of different mark making tools. Sometimes it's a fun little paper kit. This next one is the bonus ink. So if you are a subscriber, you'll get one of the new bonus inks that comes with it. And you also get access to my quarterly paint and swatch workshop. So I usually will do some fun swatching exercise, and once in a while I throw in a new idea for your sketchbook or for your art journal, and then also how to use all of my handcrafted color with the supplies that you already own too. So does anybody have any questions before I go? Thank you for those of you who have joined me live. I am looking forward to having some of you join me in the paint subscription. I get a lot of messages asking why, how come everything's sold out? I want to buy your paints. And it's because I do make them in limited edition. My watercolors and my inks are only available through subscription these days. Once in a while, I'll have, like, I just shipped out a bunch of spring mystery surprise grab bags. So sometimes I'll have those where I've made a little bit of extra stuff, and then I put together these fun little like a mystery package. Then you get that. But if you would like to know more about my handcrafted artisanal watercolors, head to tracibautistacolor.com, and you can find a lot more information there, and you can get on the wait list for my other subscriptions. I have 3 subscriptions. The Water Media Play artisanal box, which is completely full and has been full since it launched in 2017. That is only open once a year, and it has been completely sold out. And so that opens again in October. And then that one is the one that includes like every product that I design. And then there is the ink subscription, which if you want in on these inks I just showed, I do have, I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 spots available. So if you go to my website, you can find out more details. And then the Pigment Bars box, which is my most popular box, because it's something that there's no other company that I've seen or anybody that I know that's making what I've been making. And they are just such a really fun and innovative art supply that you can do a lot with. It's very versatile. Like I said, you can use it with water media ink. You can use it with acrylic ink, all of your different colored pencils, water-soluble pencils. You can even mix it with oils and use it in oil painting and in encaustic. So it's definitely a very versatile mixed media tool. So thank you all for joining me, and I would love to have you here in the Pigment Bars box. So the doors will be closing at the end of May, and then it will be closed for, I don't know how long it'll be closed for. Usually it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. It just depends on if I can like open up more spots, if I have the manpower to help put all of the packaging and shipping and everything together. So I thank you all for those of you who are subscribers and who are customers, and it's just been such an amazing journey that I get to design all of these awesome products, and they all are handmade by me. Like I don't have anybody else making them per se, but I do have help when it comes to packaging and shipping and that that end of the business. But right now I'm the only one who is handcrafting hundreds of these bars, actually thousands of these bars, and ink bottles and watercolors. Over the years I've designed thousands of pans and all of the products. So and they all are hand done, and so it definitely is something that is in a smaller quantity because I just don't physically have the time to do everything, because I want to do other things like paint and teach and all the fun stuff. So thank you so much, everybody, for those of you who are here live, and if you're watching in the replay, welcome, and I will see you hopefully in the Pigment Bars box. There's a link in the description here on YouTube, or you can go to tracibautistacolor.com. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you in my next live stream. Bye. Have a great day.